Let's action. All right, today I have a special guest. It's been a long time. We go way back, way back. It's been a long time. How you been, man?
I've been better than ever. How about yourself?
Great. Up and down, but it's great though. It's great. I get to do interviews. All right, can you do an intro? Yo, this I would say you're doing amazing things. Oh, dude, where are you from though? Like I keep looking at your picture. It's like I thought you were from Canada, right? But then you have this whole awesome thing. Where are you from, dude?
Okay, so I'm from different countries all over the world. So when I tell people here where I'm from, they're like, oh, okay, you're basically like a mixed fruit juice. So I was born in Canada, but then like if you want to look at my blood, we got Arab blood, and then we got some Scottish blood, and we got maybe some spicy Indian blood too. I don't know. We got a whole mix. So it doesn't matter where I'm from. I think it's all about what I'm really about and what we're about. It's not really. I don't think we should be identified with a passport.
Okay, thank you for that. But wait, can you introduce to yourself to the audience, please?
Yeah. Well, I'm 21 years old, and I believe age is an illusion. So even if I just said I'm 21, it doesn't really matter. And I believe that every single human being has infinite potential. It's locked up in their subconscious mind. And I know for a fact that not every human being on earth is able to tap into that. And one thing I do know is that you and we all have the human imagination. And now we have the power and ability to consciously create circumstances in our life with the human imagination. So I'm just on a mission. Like at the age of 19, I've made it my mission in life to show 1 billion human beings how to become the masters of their own minds. And that's exactly why I published an entire book on this subject, and that's why I called it The Young Mastermind. I have it here with me. It's, by the way, this is the fourth edition. No, this is the fourth edition. It's not the latest one. I don't even have my own latest edition of my own book.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Like, for me also. But I was thinking about where this passion come from. Where this want to inspire billions of people. Where does this come from?
I think it really came from my blood. I think like genetics, DNA type of thing. Because my great grandpa, he worked directly, like he was a right hand man of the wealthiest man alive back in the day, according to Times Magazine. So he worked directly with this guy. And I talked about it on the first page of my book. But the point is, he later on he was, he lived a nice, wealthy life. But at one point down the road, he just woke up and he's like, you know what? I need to inspire people. I need to impact them. And he was a spiritual type of mentor. And the point is, he did impact a lot of human beings in so many different parts of the world. And after he did that, I don't know how, but I kind of developed a desire to do that. And I have the natural skill of speaking on stages and writing, and these skills that not a lot of people have to develop. I don't know. I was born with them, type of thing. So I feel like it's something. It's a divine desire. It's not just a normal desire. Like it's meant for me to do this type of work. Yeah.
Mm, I can see that. Yeah, one of my mission is to be able to impact people in a different way. Because when I was growing up, I didn't had the skill set, or I didn't grow up with like a like I wasn't valedictorian of my days.
Mm.
I was in special education. So my mission is to be able to change the way the American education is, and the second is to change the way that the law of attraction thinking is.
Oh, amazing. You know what? I love how you talked about education because, and we could dive into that subject because I actually dedicated a whole chapter in this book. I think it's chapter 8, if I'm not wrong, or chapter 9. The point is, the title of the chapter is Education as Entertainment. And that's kind of what I believe the world needs to understand, and they do on an unconscious level. And I'm sure, like, let me ask you this, Johnny. Do you believe that you only are interested in studying things that you naturally consider fun?
Yeah, I study natural fun, but also some aspect I study others difficult subject that I don't like because I understand the human brain that we have the capacity to learn. Don't you think so? But the
Oh,
thing is, I like the way that you say it though. That's very profound what you say. Education is like entertainment, but can you explain that like deeper though? I like that. I really love it.
okay, okay, yeah, I would love to. Okay, so basically, every single human being on Earth, they want to feel a feeling. Now, that feeling is created by two brain chemicals, dopamine and serotonin. Right? That's why everyone goes to McDonald's in the drive-through. They're offered a coffee and a biscuit, a cookie, a croissant, whatever. You combine those two, you get the same brain chemical release. So then people get addicted to, McDonald's or whatever. The point is, we also get addicted to video games, to sports, to TV shows, to movies, to music. Why? Because these forms of entertainment, they create a feeling in our mind. Now that feeling becomes addicting at some time down the road. And the point I'm trying to make is that at the end of the day, every human being wants this feeling, and that's fine. That's normal. It's a natural thing to feel good. Now, if you want this feeling, all you got to do is engage in some form of entertainment. But I want you to think about this. People love watching gossip channels, right, on YouTube or just on TV, or back in the day, you used to read gossip magazines. That process of reading is educating yourself on a particular subject, maybe on a celebrity's life or whatever it is. But that process is not boring. I'm forced to study these stupid facts. No, it's because you were entertained in the process. So that's the only reason you're putting your attention towards studying that magazine about the celebrity. So the point I'm trying to make is that if human beings are already from day one educating themselves in what they feel to be entertaining, then all the education system needs to do, like the entire system of the world that's failing, especially in the US. And then if you want to look at the polar opposite of US, um, Finland, if I'm not wrong, Finland is the place to go with the best education offered on the world. And the reason is because they know that everyone wants entertainment. Now, if you want to feel a feeling, you need to get the person to identify what their desire is. Then they need to put their attention on focusing on learning information that is based on what they want. As soon as they get to do that, that entire process is not forced. It's not like you better get an A grade. They naturally want to, and it becomes their entertainment. It's no longer education, I don't want to. It's like, hey, I really want to study this. So if you want to look at it in the mind game way, this is what it is: consciously entertaining, subconsciously educating.
Oh, that is so beautiful, man. That is so beautiful. Oh man, I love the whole way you say it. I just like it's like releasing dopamine already. But like, what's the for you? What is like why like you write your book? Like, what inspired you to write your book, and what the message that you're trying to convey to the audience or deeper?
Okay. Well, to be honest, I was just an average human being living a normal life like every other human being, but I was completely unaware of what a human being is and what the power that a human has. And I was just, living a day to day life, failing in school, skipping. And I was never like that type of A student, or I was never too much of, a person that every teacher loved. But I was a kid who had a desire from day one. I wanted to just get some form of success, whether that got me to cheat in class to get a result. I don't care. I just wanted that result, right? Whatever the point is, everything I've done from day one of my life was based on a desire. Now, I did not know what the desire was because I don't know what got me to be motivated to think of creative ideas to cheat all these exams in school. But the point is, I used my mind to come up with ideas to do specific things for years, right? And many of those things were bad, and some were good. But the point is, I reached a point in life when I literally started creating an alliance around me. It's the Mastermind Alliance, but it was an alliance that was creative. That alliance was involving a huge gang member who smuggles marijuana. Okay, it involved basically, the top popular kids on earth in high school. And when you get involved with people like that, you obviously your status in school goes up. You become like the top of the line type of guy, and you're expected to do things. You're expected to believe in the same things, and you're expected to keep up with the trends and all that. So I was a nobody in grade 9, beginning of high school freshman year, and then I became a somebody in grade 10 because I transferred schools. I went to Canada from Saudi Arabia. And what happened in that process is I became the popular kid, and everything I needed, everything I've ever dreamed of. Because when I was small, this is what happened. I used to watch Disney's TV shows, right? And I'm sure we all remember Zach and Cody, you know. And did you ever watch Zach and Cody?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I watched
Okay.
Zach and Cody. Wait. You watch Dragon Josh? You know Dragon Josh?
Yeah. Okay, so do you remember this episode in Zach and Cody when Zach and Cody skip school and they go to the mall? Do you remember that? And they get
Mm,
caught.
it's been a long time, dude.
Okay,
It's been a long
I'm
time.
sure.
But
I'm sure. I'm sure some of your viewers would remember that. Anyways, the point is, I watched that episode multiple times. Okay, in that process, I developed a desire unconsciously, without even knowing what's happening in my brain, to want to experience the same experience that these guys did on TV. Okay, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I wish I could do this without even. This is just like an internal conversation. And this is not the only thing. There's video games that I play that I desire to do the same actions as these main characters in video games. Or music. I watch these music videos of people doing smoking or whatever, driving, drifting, any of these things. I kept on getting repetitive exposure to the same forms of media and entertainment that program me to desire to experience a certain type of lifestyle. And then in grade 10, because we both know the law of attraction is always working. It's never stopping. You don't choose to do it. It's just normal. It's your choice to take part in it or just be an ignorant sleepwalker and not take part in it. So the point is, I was unconsciously attracting opportunities and experiences and certain people in my life that got me to experience the things that I've been desiring from day one due to the programming I got from entertainment. You know, so in grade 10, I attracted the opportunity to do all these negative activities that I've always thought was the way success is in life. And that led me down a road that ends up in the middle of nowhere type of thing, a road that could potentially put you in jail, a road that could potentially, lead to suicide. It could lead to multiple, negative outcomes. So the point is, luckily, I got saved. And one thing happened, it led to another thing, and I woke up. And right before I graduated high school, I had a massive awakening. It's just literally one night. I'm sitting on my laptop, and I'm on YouTube, and I see this video, and it's by this man named Bob Proctor, and I press it because the video's title is "All You Need Is 6 Minutes to Success Every Day," and I'm like, what? That is that how simple it is? So I clicked, and I'm like, oh my god. This guy pops up, he starts speaking, and he tells me a story about how he's from Toronto and he used to be a firefighter, and now he's a millionaire helping millions of people all over the world. I'm like, this is the dream. Like, how can I do this type of thing? He got my attention. And after that, I went on the personal development journey of studying books and audios and personal development programs and, kind of getting obsessed with the process, and I kind of got addicted. You want to know the truth? This is crazy. Back in the day, I used to buy all these Xbox games and spend hundreds of dollars. But then now what I started doing was I started spending all that money that I would spend before on self-help books. I used to go and get addicted to buying self-help books. And I'm sure you've experienced that, Johnny, because you have the biggest book collection on earth.
But that's the thing. That's what I agree with you, that the thing that we get addicted to, that's why I agree to you. Like we get addicted to the wrong type of things, but we should get
Mhm.
addicted to the good type of thing that makes you successful. That's what I like. But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, and exactly, you're right on. So basically, as I entered this awakening, I realized that I can actually meet the person that I started falling in love with on the screen, the guy who's teaching me all these trillion-dollar ideas that you can't even like put a price on, just blowing my mind. Because the things he taught me were not about him, not about how to be successful and cheat the system and make money. No, it was about myself, me as a human being. And he started to make me aware of who I really am and how my mind really works and how I can use the power in my mind to create the life I want to live every second of my life. And one discovery led to another, and I just literally fell in love with learning about myself. And this transformation led to the point where I developed a desire due to the programming, right, from his form of entertainment, which is not boring. It was education as entertainment. I developed a desire to basically meet someone like him. Actually, just meet him, basically. I'm like, I want to meet this guy. He's from Toronto. I have a house in Toronto. I'm going to go there this summer. How about I just meet this guy? So I followed his instructions on YouTube. People usually say, we got to do this and that before I set a goal. No, you just got to set a goal. But there's a way to set a goal, right? There's a certain way. Not a lot of people know this, but I'm sure you know this, and that is in the present tense. So what I did was I wrote down on a piece of paper. I still remember this right there in that room. I'm like, I am so happy and so grateful now that I am sitting in Bob Proctor's living room. I wrote something like this, okay? It's crazy, dude. And you don't even know what happened because I left that paper. I don't even know if I brought it with me when I traveled, but I went to Canada and one opportunity led to another, one connection led to another. And before you know it, ta-da, I'm in his office sitting on his desk. But see, this is the part that we want to look back at and study. I wrote a goal to sit in his house and experience that. Not to meet him initially. That's not the goal there. So when I got the opportunity to actually visit his house, thanks to his wife, he wasn't there. He was traveling. And that's only because I never imagined myself with him. I only imagined his house. It's crazy.
Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So the point is, later on, I got to meet him, and it was the biggest, dream come true type of experience. I loved it. I can never forget it. But the point I'm trying to make is that right before I met him, I was about to enter university. I was done high school. My uncle, who was one of my other mentors, he loved the stuff I was teaching and sharing based on what I was learning. I was just reteaching it to him. And he's like, I already know this stuff, but the way you're sharing with me is amazing. So his life also started transforming at the same time. Because he's already successful, but it was helping me get even more successful. And I was just a high school graduate. I wasn't some big person, but he was willing to be the only adult in my family would actually pay attention to what I'm saying. And that's why he actually benefited. And his whole life changed, his perception changed. And now I'm about to leave university. So imagine this. He's sitting there learning from me instead of me learning from him. But it's kind of a two-way street. Anyways, I'm leaving. And he stops me one day. He's like, yo, you're leaving. You better put all these notes together. Like everything you taught me, we got to put it down. And I don't understand what he's talking about. I'm like, okay, do you want me to just write a list on a paper? What do you want me to do? And he's like, no, come with me. And he took a pad, those hard wooden boards with paper, and you clip it on, right? So we got that, and he got a pen, and he had it in his car, and we went all the way to the seaside. We sat down in the parking lot, and he looked at me, and he started asking questions. And I felt like turning on my audio, the voice recorder on my phone. And one thing led to another. We sat there for 4 hours straight recording an entire conversation, like an interview, just like this, but based on my past life and my experiences and all the things I've been through and where I am now and everything. And that led to the compilation of all the contents of my first book. So yeah. And after I wrote this book, I realized that, my message in here, which is to just show people who they really are and understand their essential reality and understand that they don't need to believe in something outside of themselves. They only need to believe in something within. And when I just realized that this is the message I want to get out there, I was like, this is a book that I got to get to the world. So yeah, I think it's been around 2 years since, almost 2 years since I've written this book.
Well, thank you for being you, man. I think that's because you have a lot, you have this energy about you that's very contagious. I can tell, right? You have this, uplifting thing, right? And also, for that type of goal, you set really high goals because a lot of people don't set high goals. They set really realistic goals to the reality. Why you set so high goal?
Okay.
But before I answer that, I set high goals too. I believe that I can get anyone to interview. Celebrities aren't gods, but why you set so high goals?
Okay. Motivation, right? We all want motivation. We all want to feel motivated every second to achieve whatever we want to achieve. Now, the thing is, I think that we as human beings would naturally feel motivated, something that really got us to stretch ourselves. Like you know that in those type of cartoons, there's like that. You know that what's it called? That sticky thing that gets your finger stuck. You know what I
It's
mean?
like a rap, right? Is it a rap?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a wrap. So imagine like you're already like this in life. You want to stretch yourself to grow as a human being. Because think about this. What's the point of living life every day if you're not growing? If you're not gaining wisdom, if you're not improving your life, like at least by 1%, right? So the point is we got to set goals that allow us to stretch and expand our consciousness and our level to think and everything by setting a goal that makes you feel uncomfortable. Because as soon as we set a goal that we know how to get, right? Then it's like, okay, I know how to buy, a Toyota Corolla, for example. I just got to save up $20,000 or whatever, and I go buy it at the showroom. But buying, like, let's say, a Lamborghini or whatever, supercar that people love, that's something that people won't be able to get their head wrapped around nowadays. Everyone's different, but my point is, as soon as you set a goal that scares you and excites you at the exact same time, so it creates two feelings. It creates a motivated feeling like I'm gonna get that, but then at the same time, it creates another feeling. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm kind of scared. Those are the feelings you want to feel when you go after a goal. And as soon as you have both of those feelings up there, that means you're going after a goal that you do not know how to get because you don't want to ever focus on the A type goals. The A type goals are goals that, oh, I know how to get it. The B type goals are the goals that you're like, okay, they are kind of up there, but I think if I do this, if I call this person, if I walk here, if I go meet, I can achieve the goal. It's like you can map it out. You can create a plan. No, that's dumb. Like it won't really get you to get out of your comfort zone because you kind of know the way. The point is, the reason I set high goals and the reason the most successful masterminds on earth set high goals, like really high goals, they're called C type goals, is because they want to expand and stretch and feel so amazing when they reach there that they're like, whoa, I need a telescope to look back to where I was. I'm like too far away. Like I'm on Earth and I went to Mars. So C type goals are the goals that we need to focus on setting based on what we really, really want and not what we think we want or what we know how to get. No, we want to really, really want it. And that's where the desire comes in. And you really feel like an emotional attachment to that. It's because you really want it. Now, the moment you really want something, the proof that you really want it is that you don't know how to get it. Like it's just too out there. It's too crazy. It seems impossible. You do not know how it's going to happen. But that is the entire point that I'm trying to make. See, the world's most successful people, look at them. Like the guy who invented the telephone, the light bulb, the guy who sends rockets to Mars. All that created the first car. I know their names. I don't want to get into it. The point is, they never knew how to get what they got initially when they thought of it or they set the goal or they really believed in it. They didn't know how they're going to get it. Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all time, never knew how he's going to become the greatest, but he just knew what he wanted. He focused on achieving it. He didn't worry about how it's going to happen. He completely ignored that. He was like, I don't care. I'm never going to know how. I just know I'm going to get it. That's it. That's all I want to focus on. And because they engaged in that process without getting the how involved, they were able to actually realize their physical goal in this world. Now, let me tell you why we're not supposed to worry about the how. Because as soon as you focus on the how, that's the ego. The ego is like, well, I want to know the time, the date, the people that will help me, the resources I need, all these little details I need to know before I can achieve the goal. Otherwise, I don't think it can happen. See, that's doubt, that's fear, that's worry, that's anxiety, that's stress, that's at least depression. It's just a total waste. So forget about the how. Because the moment you try to figure out the how, then you realize, oh, you know what, it's kind of not possible. Forget this goal, I'll just go for something lower. To go higher, you need to never worry about the how. You need to only focus on what you want and believe that the how, that process that you need to get to where you want to go, will naturally come to you. It will flow in. Everything you need, the resources, the capital, the people, the money, the connections, everything you need to achieve this physical goal will naturally come to you. You just need to believe and do what you're supposed to be doing, because this is the last thing I'm on a rant. Point is, you need to ask yourself, there's one task that you need to do in order to realize your goal. There's only one thing that there's a whole team needed, all these things you need, but for you to do one thing, you just got to do that thing, master that, focus on that. And slowly you're going to attract reflections of you who you need to do the thing you want to do. You're just gonna attract them. So you don't need to worry about that, because you always want to ask yourself, if I already achieved my goal, how would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? And how would I be acting? Because remember, people who never achieve goals, they can't achieve their goals because it's their own fault. It's not someone else's, but it's because they are thinking of the goal. They are feeling of the goal and they're acting of the goal. What does that mean? They're imagining their goal is out there on the movie screen. They're sitting in the audience and it's gonna happen the way I'm gonna visualize and it's gonna happen. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to get out of your physical body and enter into the spirit of that goal. So you need to think from the goal, feel from the goal, and act from the goal. See, no one talks about this. You'll never see this on social media. No one is ever talking about this, but I learned it and it's changing my life. So the point is, you've got to use your imagination to ask yourself, if I already achieved my goal, how would I be thinking? How would I be feeling? And how would I be acting? And then you live in that end. You bring the future into the present through the power of your imagination.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. I'm like sitting there. I was like, oh shit, this guy. But you're right. We should do that. But I don't know if you have answered this. How did you ever have fear though, and how did you overcome
it? That's something that every human being struggles from, and I think the reason we struggle from fear is because it's a normal emotion that we need to accept. Right? Again, I wrote another chapter in this book called Futile Fear. Why? What does futile mean? Futile means pointless. Fear is pointless. It's a waste. It's a waste of your energy to even feel the emotions of fear. But when fear comes to you naturally, because you can't control it. Wait, I'm wrong. You can only control feel by your thoughts. The feeling of fear can be controlled by your thoughts. So if you're feeling fearful, it's because your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are creating that environment for you that's getting you to feel scared. The point is, if you focus on what you do not want, then immediately you feel fearful. But if you focus on what you want by identifying, okay, I do not want this outcome, and you toss it to the side, then you're going to be able to put your attention towards what you do want. And as soon as you do that, then it's going to be very hard for those feelings of negativity and doubt and worry come to you. But you asked, how do you overcome it, right? So this is what I want to talk about. There's a voice, there's an inner conversation always going on in your head. That inner conversation is controlling you and is based on your past conditionings and your programming and all the things that were bombarded in your subconscious mind when you were young. Now, a lot of that is mixed with fear from teachers, from parents, from friends. I don't know where, but it involves fear. Now, if you want to turn that into faith, because remember, the polar opposite of fear is faith. So what you need to do is basically pause for a second, get mindful of the moment, and realize, oh my God, I'm talking to myself in my head. And that voice that I'm talking to myself in is a fear voice. It's not a faithful voice, it's a fearful voice. So what I need to do at this moment is you need to snap, do something, jump up and down, scream, cut, do something that would trigger your body to cut in the moment and just cut out that talk. So then you're like, oh my God, I'm awake again. I'm not sleepwalking. And now I need to put my attention towards a new voice that is promoting faith and not promoting fear. So as soon as you change your vibration, do something to change your energy, your physical state, then you can focus on changing your emotional state by changing that inner condition, talking to yourself in a positive manner that promotes faith, so you can feel faithful. And then what happens is the last thing to do is just keep believing in what you're seeing on your mind. And every time you get a whisper from someone outside of you, or just a natural whisper from within of negativity or fear, you just literally say something. Well, every religion has a specific way of saying something that cuts out that fearful voice. But if you just want to say something in English, it's rise above, or I reject that thought, or something, right? I did a whole masterclass on this actually, John. I'm going to send it to you. It's not on YouTube yet. I'm going to publish that today. Thanks to this question you asked me, reminding me that I should put that out there. But I created a masterclass because when you read my chapter, there's a link that says you can get the free masterclass. So it's out there. I think it's youngmastermind.com/fear. And I think it's like a 30-minute video, goes in depth and explains how to do these methods and processes for eliminating fear. And there's even an activity where you write down all the negative thoughts and then cut them out. I got different solutions, but I want to leave you with one quote for this question. Faith and fear both demand that you believe in something you cannot see. So don't fall in the path of fear and stay in the darkness. Choose to enter the path of light and have faith.
Beautiful, so beautiful, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does success look like to you? I know it will change, of course, but what does success look like to you now? Since you're a young dude. Okay, let me put it this way. What does success look like to you now, and what will you see success up towards? Because you have, like, whew, you're gonna do incredible things. I know.
No,
But
we both are. Every human being who's watching this is, see, this is the thing. If I'm doing something and maybe you want to do it or anyone wants to do it, the fact that I'm able to do it is proof that you can do it. So if there's anyone in your life that you look up to, or anyone who's watching this amazing interview and they have a role model, they have someone, they see someone doing something, they may feel jealous initially, but then they're like, hey, I want to do that. And the fact that someone else is doing something that you kind of want to do is proof that it's 100% possible for you, because that person is a human being, you're a human being, you both have one mind, that mind can create that reality for you. So there's no need to ever have jealousy or fear. Just have faith and be like, you know what? If he's doing it, I can do it. So back to your question, success, right? I don't know if everyone knows about Earl Nightingale. He was a founder or father of personal development in the West. He took the teachings from the East, but he spread it in the West. And his definition of success is very amazing. He says, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, right? And a lot of people in this world, they base success on their own interpretation based on what they perceive as success. It could be material, spiritual, physical, whatever. But at the end of the day, I do not have a specific answer for this, because the fact that you're able to listen to me right now with your ears, with your mind, with your eyes, is proof that you were born successful. And so am I. And so is every other human being watching this. So there's nothing to chase after in life to feel successful. We can feel successful at this very moment by acknowledging who we really are, by acknowledging the power and ability we have within us and the abundance of blessings that we already have. We don't need to find and chase after and look for. I have an amazing friend called Jordan Satari. He lives in Atlanta, and he told me that when I told him about this, he's like, you know what? Everyone wants to be a fortune finder. Everyone wants to find a fortune in life and, feel successful down the road at one point when they achieve a specific thing. But what they don't understand is there's no fortune to find. When you get there, you're going to realize that you had it all along. It's within, it's not without. So we're already successful. If we want to feel something, because at the end of the day, the only reason people want to achieve their goals and do this and that and all that is to just experience one emotion. So what's the point of experiencing something if you can just feel that experience right now? How? By using your imagination to feel the feelings you would like to feel if you already achieved your goal. So the point I'm trying to make is not to just give up and do nothing all day and sit in your house and just close your eyes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you do not need anything outside of you to feel the way you want to feel. Because what is success? Ask yourself, what do you define success is? Because I think we're successful in every single moment. We just have to make a decision of, are we going to put our thoughts towards investing or spending? If we spend, we're going down. We're going to the failure side. We're going like our bank account is losing money. But if we're investing, we're going up. Investing with our thoughts. Thinking from the goal, not off the goal. If you're thinking off the goal and you think you're going to achieve it one day, you're spending, you're losing your moment of time, energy, and money to go downward. But if you're investing, you're going upward. So the point is, in every moment, we're given the opportunity to feel successful, to be successful, and to have success. It all depends on what you perceive as success. And I am in no position to tell you how to think of what success is. You got to ask yourself, you got to listen to your heart and identify what you really want in life, and identify that you can already have it if you use your imagination to turn the non-physical dream into a physical reality.
You sound like Bob Proctor. I'm sorry. I know you love Bob Proctor. I know. But that's so beautiful, right? A lot of people can achieve, right? Because they have like potential locked inside of them. But it's like
Yeah,
they feel like they can't. They feel like they're not enough. What can you say to that?
that is such a great question because the only reason we're actually desiring to feel this way or to do this thing or to have this thing is because society is so smart. The big bosses out there, the big, evil, whatever you want to call them. The point is they use the media, the forms of entertainment to program us from day one without us even realizing it. Because we're not physical, we're spiritual beings living in a creative body, having a physical experience, right? So we're conditioned and programmed in our minds to believe that we need a new laptop, we need a new book, we need all these physical things around us to be successful, to feel successful. When in reality we don't need nothing. We just need to connect with our essential reality. It's deep, deep within. And the only way you can do that is by diving into yourself and focusing on yourself, not worrying about the outer world. So to all those people who, look at other people and they're like, I want to be as successful as them. I want to have the Rolex and the Lamborghini and the golden flip flops or whatever you desire. It's fine to have those desires, but you want to ask yourself, you want to really, really take a deep look in and ask yourself, wait, why do I even want this? Like, do I really, really want this? Am I really serious about what I'm really, desiring? Because what if I had it right now? Would I still feel happy? Would I still feel grateful? Or what would I, So you want to always ask yourself, why, like, what's the intention behind doing a specific thing? See, when I wrote this book, my intention was to help people, inspire them. But slowly later on, I got reading, and I'm like, hey, I can make a lot of money from this book. And I changed the energy of this book. I added a lot of selling techniques throughout this book. I'm being honest. You guys can all read this book. There's a lot of good value in it, but I'm a big salesman in this book. I'm selling a lot of different programs and courses I've created. And that messed me up because it didn't attract as many sales as I could have attracted. Now, I'm not like I'm giving up. I probably have a TED Talk coming up in a few weeks. But the point is, um, you want to always identify your intention at the moment and ask yourself, why am I really chasing after this goal? Why do I really want this? Why am I trying to do this or have this or be this? And you want to ask yourself and see if your intention is pure, is it really good, or is it just based on what other people are doing and maybe you just want to do it because they're doing it and like you really want to. I'm in no position to help you, but you need to help yourself because you deserve to. It's your birthright to understand yourself, to know yourself, to help yourself, and to identify. Am I really programmed to want something, to desire some image of success? Or do I really, really want that naturally? You know? So, yeah.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much. And for the last one, how did you? I know we touched base a little bit, but I want to give a because I'm into Bob Proctor too,
Yeah.
and I already know that I can see the light where I'm going. But how does it when you're inside? I know you went to the library. What did you saw? Like you were like taking his book.
Oh, in his house?
Yeah, you were
Okay.
in his like library, dude. You were in his library. I
Yeah.
saw the picture. I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was one of the coolest experiences ever, to be honest. And uh, it was like a museum that could never be boring type of thing.
But yeah, go
it's,
ahead.
it's like there's these pictures of his mentors on the wall with him, and like there's like a frame of Earl Nightingale cassette CDs, records, and then there's every type of thing connected to Think and Grow Rich. Like cards. I saw Think and Grow Rich type of like daily cards you could read. His desk was kind of cluttery because it wasn't. It was his old living room library. It wasn't the new one in the studio down near the pool. But I got to sit on his comfortable chair. Oh, he had a money. Like the money machine where you put money counters. He had one right there. Okay, so basically, like they do them in the rap videos. You put money in and it counts all the money you have. Like if you're like a drug dealer, you have this much money. You don't want to count it yourself. You could put it in the machine. That'll tell you how much it's worth. So he has that. Like it's so weird. It's not like he's a dealer or anything, but he has a money counter right beside him. And I think he put it there because it's a subconscious image he's planting in himself to feel like I'm so abundant, I need to have money to make this happen. It's actually a good technique. We should actually try to apply that. We should buy it on Amazon.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I was like, what, really?
No,
Oh
seriously,
man.
Johnny, you're probably attracted to this. You gotta buy a money counter. You gotta send me a picture. Like I think it's gonna be a cool thing just to have one near you because it gets you to kind of unconsciously believe or focus on like, oh, I have such an abundance of money now, but I need to too much, and I need to just I can't count myself. I got to put it in this machine.
That is cool though. That is cool.
Yeah.
Like, but like also, thank you so much for that. Like, when you were in the presence of him and he was, mentoring you, like, how did you feel and what did you like as a whole? Like, how did it help you to see the path where you're going? Because I know that a lot of people are inspired by Bob. Even like there are audience of mine, they're also inspired by Bob. How can
Really?
yes?
Okay. Well, you know, when I walked up to him, I was like, first thing I said, by the way, and it was a very difficult experience. Like, I opened the door and I'm looking over my shoulder, and boom, the room's empty. He's sitting there. He's standing up, looking at his Think and Grow Rich book, and I look at him over my shoulder and I'm like, oh my god, like this dream is coming, like it's true right now in this moment. But what do I do? Everything is such a surreal experience, and by the way, the fear voice came in. And I was like, just leave the room, forget this whole thing. But the faith voice was like, walk up there. So I took action upon the thoughts, and I started walking. And I'm like, and I look up and he's right there, and I'm like, hello, doctor. I'm just so happy and grateful that I'm able to be in this very moment. He's like, well, good, good. I have the whole recording of the entire conversation, but the point is, I said, at the age of 19, I figured out my purpose in life. And he's like, wait, what's your purpose? So I said, to diminish darkness and emit light in the world. And he's like, and I told him how I want to, focus on helping the youth of the world and, inspire them through my book and all that. But guess what he said? He cut me off right away. He's like, listen, the information that I've taught you and that you've learned and all that is not something that only youth need. Everyone in every part of the world needs this information because it's about themselves. It's about their human mind and their body and their soul. So he's like, you don't need to only help young people. Like, it can help anyone. So then I'm like, okay. And then he's like, you know what? Age is an illusion. I was like, what? He's like, age is an illusion. And I couldn't understand. So he's like, look, the mind that a 9-year-old has is the same mind that the 90-year-old has. The only difference is that the 90-year-old man has more experience and his vocabulary is much better. Other than that, their mind is the same mind. There is only one mind. And I was like, that was the biggest awakening ever because I'm like, oh my God, age is just a number. It's an illusion. It's made to convince us that there's something that, when I'm 90, I can't experience something because it's all bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's not meant to it's not good to be controlled by a number. It's really not good. So the point is we can do, be, and have anything and everything we desire, whether we're 10 years old or 100 years old. It really doesn't matter. It's all about the mind and using the mind. See, brain is different. We all got unique brains, different way it's structured, but the mind is the same. The mind is not physical. It's just a movement of energy. There's a conscious mind, there's a subconscious mind. And you can use your thoughts to plant ideas in your subconscious mind and create physical reality. It's just like creation. It's just like the earth. It's just like pregnancy. It's the same thing. So that's literally what I learned. And I just want to let you know one more thing. After he told me that age is an illusion, the path that I went on has led me to the point where I am right now to realize and recognize that every single thing on earth is an illusion.
Why you say that? It's almost like I've been telling like people that the Matrix. Why you say it's an illusion?
Because nothing is actually real. Everything around us is made to deceive us to believe in things outside of ourselves. So it's really like Albert Einstein said it so perfectly that I shouldn't even be talking. He said it. He's like, Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a persistent one. So there's nothing I can say that would be able to explain this because it takes a lot of self-discovery to understand what I just said. But thanks to what Bob Proctor made me aware of, how age is an illusion, that made me go on the awakening or transformative experience every day or every month or every year to realize that everything's an illusion. But there's no point in accepting everything that your senses provide you, like the evidence of your senses. We shouldn't always trust them. We should trust in the image that we're seeing in our mind because that is the only reality. And remember, you are your own reality.
Let's just sit there for a minute. You are your own reality. You know what? That's I think that's, if anything, if the audience take away from anything, that is the most powerful like phrase of the day, man. You are your own. I love you, man. God damn, man. Oh man.
No, you had some phenomenal questions. I've never had such a profound interview with someone like you who asked such deep questions, and I'm grateful because it allowed me to express whatever was on the inside to you or to your whole audience.
Yes, the reason why is because I I keep doing interviews, and I wanted to be able to at least promote your books and promote your whatever you're doing. And I think that it can help lots of people, and it can help release the mental prison that they have been bondage inside, right? And also, it
Mhm.
can help me too, because when I watch these interviews, it can inspire. You're
Yeah.
welcome. And also, when it comes to, because we haven't talked much about the law of attraction, you did put it inside, like, but for those people who don't believe in the vibration, like what can you give them? Like, I mean, not give them, but what can you make them aware? That's what I better.
I have one suggestion before I get out of here, and this is for everyone who has doubts and they disbelieve and they're like, this is all hocus pocus energy, law of attraction. You guys are crazy, you weirdos, you believe in wizards. Like, this is the answer. Stare at the moon, stare at the flowers, stare at the bees. Just study nature. Study the mother nature. Just keep looking at it and keep thinking and contemplating upon nature. It's around you for a reason. It has a meaning in it to teach you something. Focus on it, think about it, study it, and you'll slowly recognize that everything is energy, everything is vibrating, everything is moving. Nothing is sitting still. And you are the exact same thing. You're just energy, you're just moving, you're a vibration. So if you want something, all you gotta do is get on the same vibrational frequency as that. And you naturally attract the exact same thing that's a reflection of you. So if there's something in your life that you do not like, there's something that you're experiencing that you don't like, you need to understand that it's only there who you are. The people in your life are only there because they're just a reflection of you. If you don't like you don't like the things you're experiencing, you gotta change you. As soon as you focus on you and change you and develop you and expand your mind, and slowly everything around you has no choice but to either grow with you or disappear. So you can change. I just dropped my water bottle.
Yes, thank you for that. And before we go, where can we find you on online or social medias?
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel that is it's called Young Masterminds. I'm also on SoundCloud. We have a podcast episode that we publish, and it's on the ABCs of Success series. So you can find and tune into our podcast at SoundCloud. So soundcloud.com/Young Masterminds with an S. We got it on iTunes. It's the Young Masterminds Show. And then we have it on Anchor as well. Everyone's using Anchor nowadays, so it's same thing. It's Young Masterminds with an S. If anyone loves Instagram like I do, because that's my most focused platform, you can find me at Master Ali Mind. So MasterAliMind. Same thing for Twitter and same thing for Facebook.
Okay, thank you so much for the. I appreciate everything that you do, and keep up the great work. And subscribe to my channel, like my video, and I'll see you guys like. Oh, Bob Proctor, let's do an interview. All right, I'll see you.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. No, let's make that happen. You're gonna get
Wait,
that.
what? Yeah, yeah. Let's make that happen. Yes, byproduct. Let's go. All right.
Let's go.
Bye bye.